Hello and welcome back to the News You Missed Weekly Recap. This is the show that recaps all the major gaming news that happened for the week, maybe a little bit of YouTube news here and there, and I try to recap it in a podcasty format so that you can get caught up on it. If this sounds great to you, you can click that subscribe button to stay up to date here, and I would appreciate if you would sign in and get ready to like and share this because it's absolutely free and it supports me very, very well. But if you want to go the extra mile and support me on Patreon, there's that as well, and I do give away game consoles for those who support me on Patreon. But if you're subscribed here, you also get entered in automatically to win multiple game consoles as well as a Nintendo Switch. That all sounds great to you. You can do those things that you need to do, and we're going to be jumping right into the news. The first story I want to hit on is apparently the extremely rare Nintendo World Champions cartridge has been found in an attic. Now, there's not really a lot of these. This isn't necessarily the gold one that is so infamously rare, but a fairly rare one with the dip switches on it that changes the game modes. So what ended up happening is that there was this person, Tim, who found this game in the attic, and they contacted Metal Jesus for advice. Turns out it is a legit copy. Yes, this is a Nintendo World Champions cartridge. Now, these are extremely rare cartridges that were used in a tournament that occurred back in the 90s, and you can acquire them for the low price of between $20,000 to $30,000. Some people sell them for $100K, so if that's something you'd like to spend money on, that's something that you can indeed purchase. There have been offers already for this cartridge, as they are extremely rare. Turns out this guy's brother took place in the tournament, and that's why he has this cartridge. Only a few people were given these cartridges, so that's why they're extremely rare. And again, it is something for collectors out there. If you guys have never seen the Angry Video Game Nerd episode based upon these cartridges, I strongly suggest you check into it. Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it does give you a little bit of history on how these cartridges came to be about. Now we're going to move right into another rumor. Well, I mean, rumors abound, but it seems this one would be more likely. Home Run Contest and Stage Builder are returning to Smash Brothers. Yeah, so if you guys ever played Super Smash Brothers, you know that you can go onto a stage and hit sandbag for Home Run Contest to see how far you can hit them with the home run baseball bat. Well, that seems to be coming back to Smash Bros, but you can also build a stage as well, which is really, really cool. A lot of people like to build their own stages and do this, that, and the other. It's just free content that's very, very nice to be added to games. I really appreciate when the publishers and the developers of said games continue to support them, even though there may not be some microtransactions attached to it. It's just nice to see more content coming to Smash Brothers. Castle Crashers is being teased for the Switch, so it was tweeted out by the Behemoth, the company that's behind Castle Crashers, 4 Joy-Cons in different colors, which were the Castle Crasher original colors of green, red, blue, and orange. Castle Crashers is one of the absolute best games I've ever played in my life, one of the most fun co-opable games as well. This game was pretty crazy because it was originally very, very highly appreciated game on Newgrounds. Newgrounds being a place for a lot of Flash games, and then it actually was developed into an Xbox Live game with tons of references to Newgrounds as well. So it's really, really cool to see how it has evolved, and man, it's been over 10 years, and I still love playing Castle Crashers. There's other games as well that they've created, like Alien Hominid and Battle Block Theater, but it seems that this game is going to be coming to the Switch, possibly, hopefully. I gotta tell you, it would make a lot of sense because it would be one of the best co-opable experiences you could get. So check into it if you've never played Castle Crashers. I assure you, you will not be losing money. You will probably enjoy it a lot if you like co-opable beat-em-up games. Castlevania news. Ladies and gentlemen, Castlevania has been kicked to the side until recently, where the anime has kind of revitalized the Castlevania series, which is really, really cool. Apparently, the Australian Classification Board has rated a multi-platform title called Castlevania Anniversary Collection. There were rumors recently of a Castlevania Anniversary Collection coming to the Nintendo Switch, but if it's a multi-platform title, that means it's probably coming to the Xbox as well as the PlayStation. I can only imagine what games are going to be put on it, but man, there's a lot of Castlevania games, so I can't say for sure. I'm quite sure Symphony of the Night's going to be there, but who knows, maybe we'll get Rondo of Blood and Araya of Sorrow, maybe some Game Boy ones, maybe some classic NES ones. I can't say for sure. Again, being a multi-title means that they would have to deal with licensing issues and emulators and just being able to actually play the game on a different system. So we'll see what's going to happen with that, but that's really cool. I love Castlevania, and I'm sure a lot of other people who enjoy Castlevania will appreciate that knowledge. Now we're going to jump right into Octopath Traveler prequel spin-off announced for mobile. So before everyone trips out, Octopath Traveler is a classic JRPG styled game that is available for the Nintendo Switch. It's 2.5 HD type of game, which is really cool. If you've never played it, strongly suggest if you like games like Earthbound or Chrono Trigger from back in the day. Again, classic JRPG mechanics, so games that came out on the SNES during the time probably be most akin to this type of game, as well as Game Boy Advance RPGs. Things like Golden Sun remind me heavily of this game. So what they decided to do is put a spin-off game that happened before the events of the Nintendo Switch game with 8 separate characters that leads into the Nintendo Switch game's event, and you're going to be able to play it on mobile. It's going to have similar graphical stylings and things like that, and it's going to basically allow you to play through the game without some microtransactions with multiplayer elements in it. It is really a single-player game, and it's styled after that. So I think that's very nice that we're going to have a mobile game prequel, but I would have appreciated it on the Nintendo Switch as well. Fortnite apparently has now separated crossplay pool, so Switch owners only match with mobile. So this is very strange. I don't understand why, other than the simple fact that they're trying to match gameplay styles, which kind of doesn't make sense either, because if you're playing your Switch docked, what difference is it going to be between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One versus playing it on the go? On the go, I could understand if you were supposed to be matched with mobile users versus docked users versus console users versus PC users, but other than that, I can't really understand that. Fortnite Switch runs on a lower frame rate as well, about half, which is, again, probably the major reason why this is happening. It's very strange. Outside some specific high-end phones, Fortnite runs very similarly, which is the only way I can speculate and rationalize this happening. Crossplay doesn't really make sense if you can't crossplay with other people. If you're only playing Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch and your friends have Xbox and PlayStation, you say, hey guys, let's go home and we'll play together, you know, because crossplay's in effect, and then you can't? That's dumb. That's super stupid. So why did you even put crossplay in if you are going to relegate it to the mobile users? I can understand the fairness aspect. I get it. You don't want to be playing someone at 60 FPS when you're stuck on 30 FPS. But at the end of the day, you could put that warning up, you could put it in the fine print, and you could offer the choice to people. Choice is good. Allow them the choice. If they're pro gamers, they're probably not playing Fortnite on the Switch. They're probably playing it on PC. So we're going to transfer to Pokemon news, and we have Deoxys in the EX raids, as well as Rayquaza in the raid for the weekend, legendary launch hours, Pokestop submissions, and things like that. Not too much to go over here, other than the fact that if you're a big Pokemon Go user, you probably know this information. But on March 25th, the defense form of Deoxys is going to be there. From March 18th at 1 p.m. PST, the good old special raid for the weekend, Rayquaza, is going to be ending, and that's going to be beginning at March 15th. So be aware, March 18th, 1 p.m. PST. If you did not get yourself a Rayquaza before, you need to make sure to jump in there in this limited window and get in there. So there you go. Other than that, you know, Pokestops are being added here and there, and that's your news for Pokemon Go as of now. I'm going to continue over onto Xbox news. We have an Xbox wireless controller Phantom White Special Edition. This controller is hot as fire, or should I say cool as a ghost. Yeah, it's very light smoky on the top and bright white on the bottom mixed together. Looks really sweet, very similar to a Lunar White design, but with some clear additions added to it. I really appreciate it. The controller is very expensive at $70. Good lord, you could buy a AAA game and have lunch for that price, buy you a pizza have you a nice weekend with the game, but I'm just saying, for the controller this gorgeous, I don't know, I might spend that money. Would you spend $70 on a sweet controller like this? You let me know in the comments down below. We're talking about Xbox still, with Xbox Live going to iOS and Android, enhancing game creation ecosystems for all devs. So it's an a la carte style option. If you're a developer and you develop mobile games or you play mobile games, you're going to be seeing the option to integrate Xbox Live into your experience. That means not only just like something of a party system, but you're going to be able to put in achievements, gamer score, clubs, friends, family settings, and basically everything that Xbox Live brings. They are permitting people to do that with their games. Once again, the reports of the Nintendo Switch having these features as well, we're talking about developers being able to choose from each feature. They don't have to implement every single feature. So for example, if you're playing a game that is available on the Xbox, but also on the mobile platform, and you're playing the mobile version, you would likely be able to get gamerscore for your username, and everything carries over to the Xbox profile. So that's really, really cool, even though you're playing it on the mobile version of the game. Again, I think that's really, really sweet and awesome, but it is their choice if they want to put that specific thing in, if they want to put it all in, or if they want to pick and choose what specifically they would like to implement for their game. So we have a special announcement from Xbox. Halo the Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. Now this is also supposed to include Halo Reach. Again, this is pretty insane because we have not seen Halo 3 or Halo Reach on PC, and Halo 4 and 5 and many other Halo games have not made their way to the PC. Only Halo CE, Halo 2, and I believe Halo Wars can be played on the PC. Outside of emulation, we haven't seen a lot of Halo games make their way on PC, so this is going to be an amazing experience. Eye-popping 60 FPS with a full field of view. Load times are going to be very, very low. We're going to get to play Firefight on Halo Reach again cooperatively without having people drop off, without having tons of lag in place, just due to the simple fact of backwards compatibility, emulation on the Xbox One versus the Xbox 360's capabilities for just Firefight in general. This is going to be massive, and I really cannot wait to play Legendary mode on multiple games here, Halo Reach, Halo 3, with several of my friends, and get through them together. I think this is going to be a very, very fun time for Halo, and it's revitalizing the series. This is a great move on Microsoft's part to port this game over to the PC. What Halo are you most excited to play? If you're going to get this for PC, you let me know down in the comments down below. Definitely Halo Reach and Halo 3 for me. I'll see you guys out there in some sweet custom games. Now we're going to continue on into a story I covered already. All the stores in the UK apparently have this weird team takedown thing that they're doing to allow your kid to get to dinner. So apparently you can sign up for this service between certain hours and have your kids followed around by their teams on certain games while playing online to kill them over and over again, to frustrate them so much that they will leave the game and come eat dinner. I mean, if it sounds ridiculous, that's because it is. Not only is this super illegal to do, it's called targeted harassment, but it's also against the TOS of multiple games, servers, things like that, and it also reduces the revenue of those specific games. So those game companies could sue Aldi for this. Not that I think this should be taken that serious, it's just, again, pointing at how parents view the world. Oh yeah, my kid can't get off the game. It's not my job to get him off the game. Yes, it is. You're the parent. You're supposed to do your job. So instead of signing up for a service to have someone come destroy your kid on a video game, how about you just turn the game off and get them to dinner? Dinner's good for you. Getting off the game every now and again is good for you. You guys know this. You guys know it's not healthy to be sitting more than 45 minutes without getting up and taking your eyes off the screen here or there. After 15-20 minutes, you know, get the blood flow going, use the restroom, get a bite to eat, and then go back to gaming. It's that simple, man. You know, it's not like you're gonna be at dinner for more than an hour or something. Out of a day, you have so many hours to do things, especially even with school. It ain't gonna kill you to spend 3 hours on a video game instead of 4. There you go. That's how I feel. You can feel differently, so I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. So apparently EA has also paid Ninja $1 million to promote Apex Legends for 12 days after it launched. He streamed it 12 days after it launched before eventually switching back to Fortnite. Yeah, earning about $1 million. That's pathetic. I'm not gonna judge anyone's choice, but one man with a wacky hairstyle being able to stream a game for $1 million, that's ridiculous. That's crazy, man. Just think of how much money you could pay so many other people to see Apex Legends. So many ad campaigns you could run versus paying one guy $1 million. Again, Ninja is popular now, but he will fade into obscurity. They all fade into obscurity. Even some of the most popular people from back in the day. Think about it, the champions of Halo back in the day when Halo 3 was at its top, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was at its top, those champions, they faded into obscurity, and so will ninjas. So I think it's pretty crazy to pay one man $1 million to promote a game, Apex Legends. I believe it's a free-to-play battle royale game very similar to Fortnite. I find it interesting that he switched right back to Fortnite because that's where the cash is right now, but there you go. What do you think about Ninja being paid $1 million to promote Apex Legends? Anyways, we're gonna move on to No Man's Sky, getting a better new multiplayer experience. So there's a trailer that dropped, No Man's Sky Beyond. That's something. I can't believe No Man's Sky is still around with how awful of a launch it had, but it is. In the trailer, in the blog post, in all of the information that was talked about with this, they stated that they don't consider No Man's Sky an MMO, but they are saying that No Man's Sky Online will include a new radical social and multiplayer experience, which empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together. You might not consider No Man's Sky Beyond, where you're playing a game together online, a massive multiplayer online experience, MMO, but I do. So, I don't know about you guys. If you play No Man's Sky and you enjoy it, there you go. I guess that's good news for you. If you don't, then I guess it's not. So we have to travel into some bad news. Folks, 49 were dead and dozens were wounded in New Zealand terrorist attacks that were live streamed on Facebook. This was an evil, evil, evil man who went and attacked a lot of individuals for various reasons. I was told that there was over an 80-page manifesto of this guy and what he believed and why he did this. One of the biggest problems was that he stated, subscribe to PewDiePie before opening fire on a bunch of innocent people. The targets were 2 mosques and they had explosive devices in them. There were attacks all over Christchurch in New Zealand. They used several long guns, and it was a series of attacks that were live streamed for 17 minutes. The videos are on the internet here and there. The terrorists were identified as 28-year-old, originally from Grafton, Australia, and they released that white supremacist manifesto of hate. It has all kinds of references to internet culture, which just shows that this guy wasn't necessarily falling into the idea of a social culture, but kind of blending into the most disgusting aspects of the internet that the internet has to offer. The internet's a double-edged sword. You can find a lot of love and you can find a lot of hatred and everything in between. And if you stick to the hatred side, well, of course, you might end up being brainwashed. I gotta tell you, white people don't make up the majority of the world. You know how many Asians there are? There's a lot of Asians. And let's just exclude Africa and other countries where the individual skin color is not exclusively white. There's a lot more non-white people than there are white people. So it's pretty insane when somebody goes on a killing spree and they have this manifesto thinking that they're going to somehow change the world. You're not going to change the world for the better, you're going to change the world for the worst. Why am I bringing this up? This isn't necessarily gaming news. Well, PewDiePie is being blamed for a lot of this because the guy said subscribe to PewDiePie as he opened fire at one point in time. Again, being immersed in internet culture, subscribe to PewDiePie has been going around for quite some time because T-Series, a competing YouTube channel, is coming up and it's opposing PewDiePie as being the most subscribed YouTuber on YouTube. this individual yelled that out, and of course, everyone and their mom who hates PewDiePie, oh, look at that, see, he's involved in terrorist activities, he's a white supremacist, oh my god, look at this, PewDiePie's to blame for all of this. When in reality, it's just a person who took one piece of internet culture and ran with it. Let me explain something very, very simple to you. There have been attacks in the past where people have attempted to kill a president to impress a movie star. Okay? In the court rulings, when these people were taken to court over the influence of their media against the person who committed the crime, it was ruled and stated that media does not influence their decisions and art is to be protected. PewDiePie's videos are art, whether you like it or not. Are they tasteful art to you? Probably not. Especially a lot of people listening to this video, especially a lot of people with the sour taste in their mouth after this attack. But the point is, you cannot blame one person for an attack if they had literally nothing to do with this. I apologize, and my heart goes out to the families, but the posts I've seen about it are ridiculous. If PewDiePie ends up being blamed for this, then all media can be blamed for their influence on other people. And that's a massive can of worms that you can't open, because you can't control it. So there you go. That's how I feel about it. We're going to transition into something very similar. Teen kids arrested in India for playing PUBG. Apparently, India has banned this game for children to be playing because it was affecting school and social life. Due to the games, the education of the children and youth are being affected, and it affects the behavior, manners, speech, and development of the youth and children. And these teens were playing this. They were arrested, 10 of them, and they were warned not to play it before being released. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. When you start to open the can of worms that media actually influences people, then you get people getting arrested for playing specific media. I'm not saying that there aren't games out there that are disgusting. There sure are. But a game's a game. A fantasy world is a fantasy world. If you don't like the game, don't play the game. We're going to move on. The creators of Left 4 Dead have announced Back 4 Blood. This is a zombie-esque shooter that's called Back 4 Blood. There's not a lot of information at this point in time. They're just announcing it. But they did state that this is not Left 4 Dead 3. It is its own original IP where you'll be able to shoot up a lot of zombies like Left 4 Dead, but there's a whole lot of new stuff in Back 4 Blood, which makes it unique. According to the frequently asked questions page, it's coming to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC at some point. So sorry for the Switch owners out there and iOS and mobile players. You're just gonna have to deal with that. Hopefully you guys got a PC. Jump Force's DLC roadmap has been announced, which, shocker, Kaiba has been revealed to be one of the DLCs. I can almost guarantee you that every character there is in Jump Force is going to have a mirror character that is very, very similar to them. So in the case of Yugi, Kaiba, not necessarily similar to him, but from the same exact series. So it's not something completely random. So there you go. The DLC itself has all kinds of stuff that's going to be added. Clan features, new avatars and costumes, online link missions, raid bosses, things like that. Typical stuff that you would see from updates. There's plenty of free updates and paid DLC updates, so if you are a Jump Force player, you'll want to check into that. And finally, I want to end on this. Sega is halting the sales of Judgement after actors arrested for drug possession. I don't really understand this story whatsoever. One actor, apparently, who was really important to the game, I guess, was arrested for cocaine because they found a straw with cocaine residue on him, and he had tested positive in a drug test, I believe, but they didn't find cocaine on him necessarily, just enough to speculate that he had been using cocaine. And because of this, they are not going to be shipping Yakuza's Judgement, the game, anymore. So whatever games are out now is basically all you're going to get. Sega did not comment on shipping any more to North America or anywhere else. They declined to give more information on this, but because the actor had been found with this and is being charged with this, Sega had decided to pull this. Again, it's a puzzling story, but I guess that's what they want to do. Cocaine seems to be a big problem, and it's something that Sega is not going to tolerate. So there you have it. That's the weekly news recap. I'm sorry for some negative news, but we did have a little bit of positive news, and I hope that you'll share with me what you took away from this weekly news recap. I would greatly appreciate if you would share it by liking the video itself and commenting down below, and as always, you can click subscribe, stay updated with me. Now, I need to go get a drink of water because this video has drained my voice. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, and as always, good gaming, God bless. And thanks for taking the time out to watch this video.